What's going on, people? Jeff Brown back at you again, back and better than ever, in a new space, in a new place, coming to you live now from Harker Heights, Texas. Beautiful here. As you can see, I'm in a new spot. Had to take another hiatus for a whole minute so I could move into this beautiful place. But yeah, first off, before I even get started, I've been hearing all the comments. A lot of people bash me for getting on your man Julian Foster 88. First of all, I gotta say this on it. I'm gonna say this and keep it sweet and to the point, short, sweet, and to the point. My opinion is exactly that. My opinion. The boring comment I made about some of his videos is the simple fact that a lot of subject matter he had on a lot of his videos at times were boring because of the simple fact that it was stuff that we already know as boxing fans. I gave him props many times over in previous videos. For those of y'all who don't know, I've always given him a shout out at some point, and I haven't forgotten that. I am a true boxing fan. Second of all, have been one since I was 5 years old, going all the way back to 1985 when Larry Holmes fought Michael Spinks. I'm a fan of fighting, period, but boxing will always be my first love. I love martial arts. I love MMA. I love wrestling, as you can see. You know, any form of fighting that there is out there, I'm a fan of it. But boxing will first and foremost always be my one true love as a sport. I respect everybody out there in the YouTube boxing community. You know, even though those that try to copy a little bit of what I do. Not gonna mention no names on that, but I'll just leave it at that. Third, you know, I do what I do because I enjoy this. This is what I do. This is what I've always done. And people out there in the world that do know who I am and do see my face, you know who you are, you know who I am. This is what I do. And the comments that I made, you know, if they offended anybody, if they offended Mr. Julian Foster, I personally apologize about that. But hey, I said it, put it out there like that, and you know, I'll say it again. If you feel like I'm a so-called fanboy, you know, that's not the case. Never has been, never will be. You know, from bare knuckles to Marquis and Queensberry to the modern times of now. You know, I've always been a fan, and you know, people want to say, well, all he talks about is Mayweather and Pacquiao. I'm gonna explain it like this. Just because that's what I talked about for a long period of time, a lot of those videos that I put out at that point in time were about that because that was the subject matter at that point in time, and that's what everybody was talking about. So I put it out there the way it was, and most of those videos were in response to people or in response to comments or what have you. I do watch all weight classes. It does not matter. From strawweight to heavyweight to so-called super heavyweight, as a lot of people like to call it nowadays. That's just what it is. Other than that, that's neither here nor there. Let's get down to business. Let's talk about what just ended off being a sort of disappointing year, but ended off strong. Strong. Man, it ended off strong. 2010, let's put that behind us. Let's look forward to 2011. Got a lot of great fights coming up. Timothy Bradley, Devon Alexander, you know, should be a great fight. A potential brawl for it all, but I wouldn't necessarily call it that because I feel like it's not the brawl for it all, you know, because I feel like the winner of that fight should fight Amir Khan after that, and then that will potentially be the brawl for it all. I mean, it's no doubt in my mind that the junior welterweight division next to super middleweight and bantamweight right now, you know, those are, you know, really strong divisions right now and are getting a lot of fanfare. But let's not rule out lightweight either. You know, you got Marquez still out there doing his thing. He just beat Caceres. Getting kind of old, and it's kind of disappointing that he was left out of the Manny Pacquiao sweepstakes because come May 7th, we're going to see Manny Pacquiao versus Shane Mosley. What's left of him anyway. It's just one of those things, I guess. Pacquiao once again is gonna wow us with whatever it is that he does in the ring, and he's gonna whoop up on an old man. I mean, let's just be real about it. If you saw Shane Mosley's last fight with Sergio Martinez, a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. I myself thought Martinez did enough to win that fight, and Shane Mosley got the draw based on the fact that he's Shane Mosley. It's been done so many times before over the years in boxing. If you have a name, you could win a fight based on just your name sometimes, and that's just what it is. And it's obvious he's on his way down. Martinez wasn't given a fair shake, and he probably should have been given a decision, but because it's Shane Mosley and because it was Golden Boy Promotions, they didn't want to make their guy look bad, so they go ahead and call the draw. We'll probably won't see that fight again. I mean, it really was a kind of a trash fight, but all in all, right is right and wrong is wrong. Another great fight I'm looking forward to is the continuation potentially of the bantamweight tournament with Joseph King Kong Abeko taking on Abner Mares, and then we'll have an overall bantamweight top fighter, I guess you could say. But it's interesting to note that Nonito Donaire and Fernando Montiel were left out of that tournament. You had Anselmo Moreno that was left out of that tournament, and I really don't understand why people believe that Vic Darchinyan and Yanni Perez. I mean, yeah, they were considered the top dogs in that division, but at the same time, how do you leave out Fernando Montiel? How do you leave out Nonito Donaire, who knocked out Vic Darchinyan? Let's not forget that. And how do you leave out Anselmo Moreno? I mean, these are guys that I'm pretty sure people that watch this particular division have noticed that these guys are a force to be reckoned with and have been for quite a while now. It's crazy to me that those guys don't get their just due, and they should have been put in the tournament, which I'm pretty sure they were asked. But when you put just those guys in the mix with Darchinyan and Abeko and Perez, and it's like, how do you do that? How do you leave those guys out of that? It's really not much of a tournament to me. It was a 4-man show, and now you're gonna have the finals and then a consolation fight with Perez and Darchinyan, and it's almost like seeing a sloppy seconds fight. Is in common knowledge from what they call in football, kind of like a toilet bowl game, I guess you could say. The losers are going to fight the losers, and the winners are going to fight the winners. But I feel like the true losers right now that lost out on this were Montiel and Donaire, which, thank goodness, they're in talks to get it on themselves. So hopefully we'll be seeing Fernando Montiel versus Nonito Donaire here real soon. Another thing I'm looking forward to is potentially what's left of the Super 6 tournament, which I still believe whoever wins out of that tournament, whether it be Andre Ward or Carl Frost or Glenn Johnson or whoever, I still believe that somebody should give Andre Dirrell a shot. And if you don't give him a shot, the winner of the overall thing should go ahead and fight Lucian Bute. There's still potential for a lot of great fights in super middleweight that can be made even after that tournament is over. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Once again, David Haye is being David Haye, and the Klitschko's are calling him out, and it's interesting to even see the Klitschko's talking trash lately because it just seems like to me at this point, if you really wanted to fight somebody, if you say that you're that good, just get in the ring with them. As much as I hate saying it, those guys haven't ducked anybody. They've taken on all comers. They've been beaten by some and beaten the rest of them. But that's all in the past now. They've won every time out. Anybody that they put in front of them here recently, they've beaten. whether it be Eddie Chambers, whether it be, you know, a junk fight with your boy, hell, I can't even remember the dude's name that he fought, but, you know, Vladimir, you know, took a junk fight to take another good fight. He even fought, you know, he even fought Sam Peter again and knocked him out, pure and point blank, after his brother just did the same thing in 8 rounds. But, you know, it is what it is. David Haye needs to take that fight. I'm not understanding why, you know, this fight can't come off, but something needs to happen. You know, he did what he needed to do against Ali Harrison, fair enough. But that's the fight that everybody wants to see as far as the heavyweights. That's the only legitimate. This will be the first time we've had a legitimate heavyweight fight in quite a while, because the heavyweight division hasn't had any clout now for going on almost 5 years. And it's a shame, because the heavyweight division for the longest time used to be the glamour division of boxing. But, you know, it is what it is. David Haye, fight one of them cats. Stop being a bitch, fight one of them cats. Hell, even both of the Klitschos are calling you a big ass bitch right now, and it's funny to me just to hear them boys talk trash. But kind of running out of time on this thing. But yeah, just want to sum it all up. Like I said, you know, hopefully we have a great year, a better year than we did in the last year. Really looking forward to a lot of these great fights. Be sure to tune in tonight for the season premiere of Friday Night Fights on ESPN2. A little plug right there for ESPN. You know, just I'm going to continue to come out with these videos. I'm going to be back pretty often from now on. You know what I'm saying? Got a little bit more time on my hands, as y'all can see. And, you know, like I said before at the beginning, for those of y'all who were offended with some of the things that I said, hey, it's my opinion. I'm entitled to it, just like you guys are entitled to your opinion, and you continue to send comments and stuff to me. That's what I do. This is what I'm here for. I want to give some quick shout outs. First and foremost, to my man Blood Boxing, Carcino. You know what I'm saying? Blood, I'm sorry about, you know what I'm saying, if you felt like I offended my man Julian. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't trying to offend you. You're still my boy. You know what I'm saying? Julian Foster's still my boy. I just made those comments. You know, it is what it is. Mr. Universal Sports, keep on putting the videos out there, and everybody else that's, you know, supports me out here in the state of Texas. Oh, and another quick note. I wanted to spell a quick rumor real quick. I don't know if it's, you know, who put it out there, but James Kirkland is not dead, people. James Kirkland is not dead. He's getting ready to get out of jail. He will be coming back. He's having some promotional problems right now, but he's potentially coming back in June to possibly fight. So look out for him. James Kirkland is not dead. He's alive and well. He's just having some promotional difficulties right now. He was dropped from Golden Boy, unfortunately, for the gun charge that he caught, but he will be back. But anyway, like I said, shouts out to all my peoples out there in the YouTube community. Like I said, looking forward to a great 2011, and I'll holler at everybody soon. Jeff Brown's Wild World of Boxing back in full effect once again. Holler at y'all boys soon. Peace.